Okay, what's up? Paul Morrissey here with this YouTube vlog on Conor McGregor and his recent podcast interview with self-help motivational guru Tony Robbins. Okay, so guys, please hit the sub and like buttons and leave comments and interact with the video here, yeah? Also check out my second channel, Palfish Paul, aka Palfish Pablo, for tips on how to work from anywhere you want and travel the world as you go. Alright, so let's get down to this. Yeah, I mean, my last vlog on McGregor has done quite well, but I basically just did a bit of state of play, like what's going on with McGregor. This is about a month ago, following his fake retirement announcement on Twitter. And I'm questioning whether he's ever going to come back and what's actually going on with him, and I was sort of trying to chronicle his rise and fall. Now here, there's some really interesting stuff that came out of the Tony Robbins podcast. So I'm going to focus on two areas here. The first is the law of attraction, alright, this new age philosophy which McGregor espouses and to which he attributes much of his career success. And then I'm going to look into his very, very revealing quotes on getting an out from a fight, which cast his fights into a whole new light, notably his submission losses to Joe Duffy, Nate Diaz and Khabib, the Eagle, Khabib Nurmagomedov, yeah? Because McGregor very implicitly admitted that he pragmatically seeks an out from the fight when he feels it's time to live the fight another day. Now that, let me get this clear, I'm not for 1 second suggesting that makes him a coward or a pussy by any stretch of the imagination. Can you imagine you have a Russian bear's arms wrapped around you and he's about to snap your head off? Yeah, any rational thinking human being would tap there. However, it casts McGregor in a whole new light, you know, and the whole concept of being an MMA fighter and a combat fighter, that it's not just about being this tough badass who's going to go right to the limit until his brain is about to blow from excessive punches to the face. No. If you are losing and the fight's gone, it probably is the best course of action. McGregor's a father now. He's a successful businessman with his prop at 12, yeah? So, yeah, why shouldn't you leave the fight actually if you're losing the fight and there's no way back? It's just really interesting that he came out with these quotes. Let me get on to them after. Let's go back to the law of attraction here, and we'll start with this. Because when Tony Robbins asked McGregor, like, how did he get like this? How did he get so confident and optimistic and envisioning of success? And McGregor took us down memory lane back to his upbringing in D12, yeah, Dublin 12 in Crumlin, when he was ambling in different directions as an errant teenager, playing a bit of football. He started into boxing, and his sister, Erin I think it was, gave him this famous self-help book called The Secret, which expounds upon this law of attraction which emerged in the 18th century from some Russian philosopher and gradually gained traction over the 20th century to the point that it's now become this multi-million-dollar industry. You know, in fact, from people like Tony Robbins who believe that you got to manifest your life through positive visions. Okay, so McGregor sees this as a seminal turning point in his life when he read The Secret book and then watched several documentaries and movies on it. And he became a fervent and zealous believer that you can be anything you want to be through visions. See it, think it, and you can be it, alright? And he sees the way that he rose up from nothing, from a failed plumber to an amateur fighter into a double champ UFC legend. Now, when I first ever heard about the law of attraction, I was very interested in it. Just like any young Irishman, curious about what's going on in life, an optimistic, reasonably confident young boy, but with, well, I say young boy, I was probably 24, 25 when I first heard about this. Definitely was a boy no more. But yeah, like, and I would say most people who watch my channel and watch my Instagram, I put a poll up yesterday asking people if they believe in the law of attraction, and I would say most will put me down as a believer. But let me get it out clear here. I'm not. I'm very much a skeptic on the law of attraction. Just like I'm an atheist, I don't believe in bearded deities controlling the universe. I think it's very intoxicating and an alluring thought to think that you can think things and think positive thoughts and they will manifest into positive thoughts, and conversely negative thoughts will manifest negative things. Now I basically think this law of attraction fundamentally is alright until when it becomes magic. When you're talking about a black magic belief that you can manifest a Lamborghini or a beautiful Latina Brazilian Orangina bottle shaped woman by thinking about her. Like, of course, as people would say, I'm an optimistic, joyful, joie de vivre guy who's trying to do good things in my life. And I believe the more I do these things, take for example in the space of the last year, from having a fairly sketchy YouTube channel, I've met two unbelievable friends, one an aspiring filmmaker and another a professional filmmaker. Big up Bob and Jesper, who came into my life very randomly and have helped me now take my YouTube channel, I think, to the next level. And it's just, regardless of the views that they get, to have been out on the streets making music videos, doing real shoots, and then in Bangkok with Jesper doing these live street interviews. Like, if I were to be in any way a romantic believer of the law of attraction, or anybody who would have any credence for it would have given it all to the law of attraction. Look, I'm out here doing YouTube videos, and then I met two filmmakers. But it doesn't follow to me that was a magic manifestation. I just think these things will naturally happen the more you're doing good things. Just like my father grew up, sharing his bed with his brothers in a poor farmhouse in Tipperary. He rose up to become a successful politician and businessman. I never heard any law of attraction come out of his mouth or any such new age philosophies. For him it was about industry and hard work and passion. And these are McGregor's fundamentals, his core qualities as well. So why do you need to attribute a magical law of attraction to it? Why do you need to do that? Look at, like, say, Roy Keane came from a council estate in Mayfair in Cockby, arguably had just as much success as Conor McGregor in his given field, possibly more. Actually, you'd have to say more. Like, Captain of Ireland. All right, what's the crack? Captain of Ireland and Manchester United, coming from a council estate in Cork, written off as too small, playing for his local Mayfair team by. And look what he did. Did you ever hear Roy Keane talk about the law of attraction and saying, I manifested it, I envisioned this? No, he was sitting at home playing with Pam and his 5 sisters and watching Neighbours and Kylie Minogue in his gaff in Cork. He was writing letters to football clubs, and eventually Nottingham Forest gave him a shout, and then he went and worked hard and got it. So the notion that visioning beliefs will manifest is just, I kind of put it down to, I liken it to monotheistic religions of self-serving bias and self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Just how a religious zealot, like say Kaká, the Brazilian football player, when he was a kid, he fell off a diving board at a pool and almost broke his neck, but he didn't. So from that moment on, of course, he was an evangelist believer because God saved him from that. But then, that's self-serving bias, because then you forget about all the other times when bad things happen in your life. Where was your God then? And where was the law of attraction? Because it's not like you're walking around picking up money every day and finding cars every day thanks to the law of attraction. There might be a couple of incidents where there's a coincidence where something happened thanks to your vision, but that doesn't prove it. A really good friend of mine, one of my great friends, I've got to say, and if you're watching this, bud, like, it's not a criticism of you. We're allowed to have opposing beliefs. But my friend believes that one time when he found 1,000 baht on the ground in a car park in Chiang Mai, that was affirmation of the law of attraction, because he'd been thinking about it all week. I've got to find money. He was a bit hard up on cash. Hey, we've all been there. But because you found 1,000 baht, like, it's not a cause and effect. The two do not equate to 5. It's not 2 + 2 = 5. Like, that's a massive extrapolation. Lucky things and random things happen through chaos theory. Like, what about all the other days when you didn't see the 1,000 baht? Like Conor McGregor's actual his actual case study example in the Tony Robbins podcast, it's laughable to me, because he says when he's driving around car parks in shopping centres, and I would practice it, and sometimes there'd be a spot and I'd get better at it, other times I wouldn't. Well, yeah, bud, like, sometimes there is a car park space and sometimes there isn't. My dad, and another such optimistic person, we'd be driving into the car parks, going to the cinema or whatever, and he'd say, I was born lucky, because there would invariably be a space up at the front for my dad. But that was my dad having daring do about him and going for it and trying things. Sometimes he'd drive up on the footpath on the way to work and stuff, trying things, and things pull off when like fortune favours the brave, yeah. Those kind of thoughts I believe in, yeah. Be outgoing, be confident, talk to the beautiful woman sat across from you, try that thing, try that vlog, try all these new opportunities we have now in the social media age. But because you thought of it, and I did as a kid, just like Conor McGregor, I envisioned myself scoring goals at Croke Park, kicking points at Croke Park, playing for Manchester United. And if that would have come true, it wouldn't have ipso facto been a causal and effect. It would have been thanks to me working hard to get there and being the best in my group. Do you feel me? That's what I feel. So I feel Conor McGregor was the best in his featherweight division. He had the best approach to it, the best physique. He's a genetic freak to be at that featherweight division. He was, let's be honest, he was given a nice little yellow brick road by Dana White and Uncle Frank Fertitta, Uncle Lorenzo Fertitta, yeah? Proba 12. And then he did beat Jose Aldo with a somewhat magical, spiritual punch. There was an air of, you know, if anyone believes in the law of attraction, that was the moment to believe in it when he knocked out Jose Aldo in 12/13 seconds. But yeah, you beat him. You beat him, and I don't feel the necessity to attribute a magical vision to that. Because since then, look what's happened. Like, he's lost three out of his last 4 fights. And where is the law of attraction now? It's not really helping him now, is it? Because he's losing all his fights. And in fact, you could make the argument that perhaps, follow me for a second, the law of attraction could have, you know, contributed to his recent downfall, because the naysayers of the law of attraction say when you just envision that goal, that you're going to be the double champ of the UFC, the first ever, and when that moment arrives, it induces indolence and you become lazy. Look at people like Anthony Pettis or Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who day drinking cowboy. He's out having a good time, he's drinking, he's jet skiing, he's having the crack, but he keeps just working hard. He doesn't talk about law of attraction. He's had the most, he's the winningest, I love saying that, the winningest UFC fighter in history, thanks to damn hard work and passion. But why do you need to attribute it to magical visions? Alright, so I feel like it's sort of a cultish Jonestown, drink the Kool-Aid, new age mumbo jumbo that has it's found a niche in today's industry from a lot of, you know, people seeking hope in this technological age, and we're kind of reaching the end of religion, and there's a bit of we're at an age of, it's the best of times, the worst of times. There's lots of doubt around with economic crises and things, and the law of attraction gives you this magical hope. But I can't fuck with it, yeah. So I hope this is my second take where I feel I've been a bit more clear and less rambling on the law of attraction, yeah. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about my skeptical take on it? And if you like it, go for it. Do you? Like, I'm not negating or criticizing anybody who believes in it. I just feel it's a classic case of self-fulfilling prophecies through self-serving bias. When good things happen, you'll say it's the law of attraction. When bad things, you'll keep stum and you'll kind of sweep it under the rug, yeah? Alright, on to the really way more interesting part of the Tony Robbins interview was the quotes on getting it out from a fight. Alright, so this is incredible. Like, what McGregor said is probably the most incredible thing I've ever heard come out of his mouth. Most surprising, at least, in regard to fighting, yeah? So, prior to this, you know, people like Paulie Malignaggi, Floyd Mayweather on the Maymac tour, be like, he tapped, he got given him. You know, McGregor never said anything back. And they were implying that he's a wimp and he quits when the going gets tough. And he does actually quit when the going gets tough, and that's a good thing. You know, when you listen to what he says, yeah, it does make sense. If the fight is gone, do live to fight another day. This is a brutal sport. And it's kind of like, it's the Machiavellian principle from the book The Prince. And this is why in Italy, in Serie A football, you rarely see comebacks. When a team is losing 3-1 or 4-1 and there's 20 minutes to go, you don't see heroic remontadas like you do in the Premier League, where it's like, go for it, go for it. No, they actually retreat, wave the white flag, and want to live to fight another day. Save your energy. Don't lose your dignity by going for a comeback, because you're only going to incur more damage. So it's actually, this pragmatic way of thinking definitely will serve you in MMA. And I think it's fair play to McGregor for being so candid about this. He didn't say it in so many words, but listen to the quote, alright? And he explains it because of the fact that he saw a man die inside the cage when his SBG teammate Charlie Ward unwittingly and accidentally killed a Portuguese fighter named Carvalho through excessive blows to the head. I won't get into that. You could blame many people for that, but it happened. It was a very, very unfortunate event. Hopefully it will never happen again in mixed martial arts combat. So McGregor says, I was ringside for it when I saw a man killed on Irish soil, the only death in mixed martial arts history in Ireland. For a couple of days, I didn't know how I would feel. So it's a vicious, vicious game. You've got to be fully committed, and you've got to be willing to go all the way. I make correct decisions when I'm in there, even in defeat. Now this is where my ears perked up. I was like, alright, go on. I know if there is an out, and when it's time to get out, I know when it's time to live to fight another day. Right, so here he's basically saying that in his 3 submission defeats, maybe against Joseph Duffy, but I would say definitely against Nate Diaz and Khabib, he sought an out when the fight was not going his way anymore. And I'm not saying that's pussy or cowardice. I actually felt this already. I thought maybe was I going a bit too far when I looked at the way he quit against Khabib. I thought he had proactively sought an out there, and my feeling was corroborated and backed up by this really good YouTube channel by this animated dinosaur whose name escapes me. He gave a breakdown of the Khabib fight where he showed, following the final takedown, McGregor was basically, he was gone, like he was helping Khabib into the submission position without making it look too obvious. So he was submissively giving his back, and then when he had the chance to get a hand up and block the choke out, he didn't do it, you know, so he was totally submissive there. The same could be said for the Nate Diaz fight when he shot, alright. McGregor is the antithesis of a wrestler. He's a stand-up boxer. He never shoots down and never takes people down. The only time he really did was against Max Holloway when he'd blown out his ACL, and that was his only recourse of action from that point on. So to see him shoot for the legs against Diaz, and Diaz like, oh, you're a wrestler now. You're a wrestler now. All right. So that Nate Diaz was even chuckling about it at the time. Vlog's going to end here if you watch this far. Battery's about to die. So you have to be intelligent there as well. Otherwise you won't live to fight another day. That's what happened in my last bout. It did not go my way, but then the fight broke out afterwards and I bounced back in. So yeah, vlog, the battery's about to die here. I forgot to charge it. So yeah, implicit admission from McGregor there that he sought that tap from Khabib when he saw he was losing the fight 3 rounds to 1, and there was no point in going on and just getting his head smashed in any further, because he did also have a foot injury which he kept quiet. And I would believe him on that. You know, it's very easy to say, oh, sour grapes, you're making excuses, but he did say he snapped his toes back 10 days before the fight with his Moldovan sparring partner. Last thing I'll say before the battery dies is, I think he's a little bit deluded, maybe by the law of attraction, by saying that Khabib is running away. I think Khabib has no obligation to do a rematch, and that it's down to McGregor to fight someone else to build his way back up, because that fight was not close. Law of attraction, man. Get back visioning positive things, and maybe then you'll get the Khabib fight. Cheers for watching. Battery about to die. Enjoyed this vlog. I hope you did too. Leave the likes and subs up, yeah? Cheers.